Okay, today's going to be different than what we did before, because what we're going to do is I'm going to teach you in person for the first lesson, and then I am going to let you have lunch, obviously, and then you are going to watch a video for the second lesson, okay? Because usually we'll come on here, we'll do a Zoom just to answer questions, and then you'll go watch the videos on your own and go from there. So I'm slowly bringing you into that. So the first lesson today we'll do together. The second lesson, you're going to watch the video. Okay, and I'm going to show you right now where to get those videos. Okay. So when you go to your Canvas, guys, it looks like this. Okay. You'll see here we have module day 1. You've already done day 1. You see there's a little red circle next to this first assignment because technically now it's late. It was due last night. And guys, only 16 of you turned it in out of the 32, which is not good. So if you're having issues turning things in, you need to message me. Plenty of people were messaging me yesterday asking me for help on how to upload their assignments, and we worked it out. But you guys have to be doing your homework. You have to, all right? So more of you need to figure out how to get things turned in. Since it was the first assignment, I'm thinking maybe I won't take off late points, but as of right now, it will be considered late. So you need to get things turned in. I have published day 2, which is today. We are going to do 2 lessons. We're going to do integers and radical expressions. So when you click on day 2, it gives you kind of an overview of everything that we're going to be doing today. So welcome to day 2. I tell you what we're working on. I tell you that in person, we're going to do integers, and then you're going to watch the radicals video on your own, okay? So I've uploaded the radicals video directly into this. You can just click play, and it'll start going. I've also given you the YouTube link if YouTube works better. So you can click on this YouTube link down here, and it'll take you to the YouTube webpage, and you can watch it there, right? Also on this, I have already given you your notes. So we have guided notes for operations, and we have the radical notes that you should be able, if you want to, you can print and fill those in as we work through the notes together, all right? So there'll always be a page like this every day. So I'll have your notes worksheets there for you to print if you want. And then I'll also have the videos that you're gonna watch that goes with those notes, all right? You push the next button, and that's going to take you to your assignments, okay? So this is going to be the assignment for integers. You have 2 assignments today, all right? So the first one is integers. You would download this worksheet or work it on your own, and we'll discuss that here in a minute. Push next. Here's the video again for part 2 of radicals. And that lesson is going to go with the second assignment for radicals, where we have this assignment. Okay, so whenever we come on here every day, we need to get used to going to modules, and everything you need is going to be here. Clicking on what day it is gives you an overview of the entire thing. All right, any questions about how Canvas works? Okay. So today we're going to do a live lesson together, and then you are going to do the second one on your own. Before we do get into that, does anyone have any questions about any previous stuff? And y'all can raise your hand if you have a question. Okay. Okay. So if no one has questions on how to upload things, then we should all be turning in our assignments. Okay. Don't make me call you out, because I can. I can see who has and has not turned them in. Okay. You got, who was that? Nobody? Okay. Guys, this submit button is what you should be using. That's what you click on to turn in your assignment, okay? Because then here, you will upload your file. Choose file. That's what you click on to upload your assignment, and then you can turn it in, all right? Okay, let's get into today's lesson. So the first lesson we are going to do is operations with real numbers. So we're going to just go through some little tips and tricks on how to add, subtract, multiply, and divide positive and negative numbers is what we're going to do. All right, so adding numbers with the same sign, your numbers always get bigger and they always keep that sign. So if I add together 14 plus 10, I bring them together to give me 24, and it's going to be positive because they were both positive to begin with. All right, negative 32 plus negative 11. Well, 32 plus 11, that gives me 43. But since they're both negative, it's going to be negative 43. All right, so adding numbers with the same sign, your numbers get bigger and they get to keep the sign. I'll give you a second to write that down. And I am recording this, so just like I did last time, when we're done with this Zoom call and it's downloaded onto my computer, I will upload it. So if you need to go back and watch this, you can. So I'll put it in the module, I'll put it right before the first assignment. All right, next, if we are adding numbers with different signs, okay, what you can do as a little trick is you can subtract their absolute values and then they take the sign of the bigger number, okay? So if I did 20 plus negative 15, I can just do 20 minus 15, which is 5. And it gets the sign of the bigger number, which is 20, so it's going to become positive 5. Right? Next one, negative 33 plus 8. Well, I can subtract the absolute value. So that means that I could do 33 minus 8, which gives me 25. And then it gets the sign of the bigger number. 33 is the bigger number, so it's going to end up being negative 25. Right? If the tips and tricks confuse you and you don't like them and you have an easier way of doing it that you think is easier, that makes more sense to you, then do it that way. What's nice about math is lots of different ways to do the same thing. Okay, these are just a couple of tips that can help you if you want them. All right. So again, guys, if you print off the notes ahead of time, a lot of my notes are just like fill in the blank, and all of this is already there for you. So it'll save you time. Or you can just download it and look at it with me. All right, we're gonna move on. Subtracting numbers, okay? Subtracting numbers is the same thing as adding a negative. So if I give you 6 minus 10, that's the same thing as saying 6 plus negative 10. Okay, either way you get negative 4. You decide which way that you prefer to see it. Okay, they are both the exact same thing. I don't care which way you use. So adding a negative is the same thing as just subtracting the numbers from each other. So 6 minus 10 is negative 4. Same thing, 6 plus negative 10 is also negative 4. We good? Trying to give y'all some time to write it down. All right, next it's going to be subtracting a negative is actually the same thing as adding. So whenever we have two negatives next to each other, they come together to form a plus sign. So 10 minus negative 15, they're going to come together to make a plus sign. So that's the same thing as saying 10 plus 15, which is 25. All right, the other one, 3 minus negative 9, well, we have minus negative 9, bring it together, it gives you 12. You're just going to add them. Good, yes. So whenever you have two negatives together, they always come together to make that plus sign for you. We're going to see that it does that for us again in multiplying and dividing also, whenever we have two negatives. All right, so that's adding and subtracting. Do you have any questions on those before we move on to multiplying and dividing? And this is another review day, so this might look familiar to you. It might be a while since you've seen it, but it is a review for you guys. I'll give you about 10 more seconds. While some of you are still writing this down, I also need to mention, when you guys send me a message on Canvas, if I'm not at school, I'm not going to get it. So if you try to send me a message after 2 o'clock, I might not get it until the next morning, and that's when you should use Remind. So if you have not signed up for the Remind app or services, make sure you do that, because that's how you can reach me and ask me questions after 2 o'clock, because I won't be at school anymore. So I don't get them. All right, I'm gonna move on to multiplying. When we multiply real numbers, the product of the two numbers, if they are the same sign, so a positive times a positive, or a negative times a negative, your answer is always gonna be another positive number, every single time, okay? So here, if I have 6 times 8, that is the same thing as saying negative, my gosh. 6 times 8 is positive 48. There we go. Getting my words mixed up. 15 times 11 and negative 15 times negative 11 is also going to give me the same result. So two of the same sign give me the positive number. So I'm going to get a positive 165. On your worksheet today, you're going to also see them written with parentheses like this. That's the same thing. That also means multiply 6 times 8. So here, negative 15 and 11 like this in parentheses, that's the same thing. That's still multiplying. So your worksheet shows it like that. All right, the product of two numbers, if their signs are opposite, so you have a positive and a negative, it does not matter which order they come in, okay? Your answer will also always be a negative number, all right? So negative 5 times positive 7, and again, I could rewrite it to look like this. I don't know what happened there. There we go. Negative 5 times 7 gives us negative 35. And then down here we have 8 times negative 13. So here the negative comes second. The first equation, my negative was the first number. It doesn't matter. If they have different signs, you're going to get a negative result every time. So this gives me negative 104. Okay. So multiplying, how else do we see multiplying? Sometimes you'll see it with like a dot in the middle. That's the same thing as multiplying. Only one of them could have parentheses. That shows multiplying. Like that. You can have, what am I doing? You can have the little multiplication sign, or they could both be in parentheses. These are all different ways that multiplying is represented on worksheets and stuff. We got to be able to recognize it because of our order of operations. Those are still a thing. So if we have multiplying and adding happening in the equation, make sure you multiply before you add. Okay. One more. We're going to go through dividing. We did add, we did subtract, we just did multiply. Now we're going to do divide. All right, so when we are dividing, the quotient of two numbers with the same sign is always going to be positive, just like it was with our multiplying. So if they have the same sign, your result is always a positive number. Negative 27 divided by negative 3 gives me a positive 9. 150 divided by 10 gives me a positive 15. All right. Another way that you're going to be shown dividing is if they set it up as a fraction. Okay. Fractions are also division. I mean, look at the division symbol. Isn't that a fraction? There's a line, there's a numerator, there's a denominator. Okay. So fractions are another way to show division. So you might see it written like that. All right, if my quotient of two numbers have different signs, then your result will always be a negative number, just like it was with multiplying. If they have opposite signs, your result is always negative. Okay, so we have 42 divided by negative 6. That's going to give me a negative 7. And the negative 121 divided by 11 gives me negative 11. Okay, again, order does not matter. Also, when you do this when it's being shown in your fractions, your negative might just be in the numerator. Let me write it the same way they have it. So here we could do 42 divided by negative 6 like that, like just the denominator. Here it could be negative 121 divided by 11. Or sometimes they just put the negative out front of the entire fraction. Okay, because it doesn't matter if the negative is just out the front. That means the whole thing is negative. Okay, so if one piece of your fraction is negative, the whole thing is negative. Okay. Oops, sorry guys. Go back. So some of you are all still writing, and that's fine, but that is really the end of this lesson, this first lesson today. Is just adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing our integers. Anybody have any questions for me? And did Arya, Keontae, Alexis, Trenton, Kamari, or Journey ever join us? Okay. All right, so I am going to show you your homework. So we have notes, and then we have a homework assignment, and then you have a second set of notes. Remember, that's the video that's online, and then you're going to have a second homework assignment. So let me remind you where to find these, so y'all don't say you don't know where it is later. Okay, so when you come to your, cancel. That's fine. So when you come to our Canvas page, okay, again, you click modules on the side. It shows you everything that we have done so far in this class. So there's the syllabus, the student information, if you haven't done that yet. Day 1 is already done. That's why there's a red circle next to it, because that assignment is considered late now. But that means but you're still able to upload it. So please do. Day 2 is today. So here we go. We have part 1 for integers, and we have part 2 for radicals. Part 1 we just finished. So you're going to click on that. And this is where you're going to find your worksheet. Okay, so when you work through this worksheet, when you add or subtract, multiply or divide your values and you get your answer, you're going to shade in the number the way that you see it shaded on the side. So here, -9 plus 3. I'll help you out. That one is -6. So you're going to find -6 on your worksheet, which is the top right corner. I'm going to shade in this square just like it shows me next to it. Okay, so when you're done, it's all going to kind of make a picture. All right, so the next one, 6, that's multiply. 6 times -5, that gives you -30. Be careful, because look, there's -30 and +30. So make sure you get the right one. These are all going to be your answers. Okay, you're going to use every single square in here one time. So you kind of have an answer bank of what you should be getting. Okay, I'm going to give you this answer. It's not writing, is it? This problem on your worksheet, it's one of the last ones. Their answer key has it wrong, so we're going to fix it. I'm just going to go ahead and tell you that the answer here is going to be 9. Why is it not writing? Blue pen. There we go. Okay, so the answer for this guy, so take a picture of it, write it down. It's one of the last problems. Their answer key is wrong, so I'm telling you, they want you to shade in the block that has a 9 on it to look like this. So that's the one. That's one of the ones I'll give you. Okay. I'm also going to review real quick. Some of you were asking about how you can do these without printing. I mean, you can write it on your own piece of paper. You can. But I'm going to show you again how we can make notations on this worksheet. So what you do is you actually go into submit assignment first. You have to download it. And you're going to upload that file without doing anything to it. I know that's weird, but you're going to upload, we're going to upload this file without doing anything. You're going to say submit assignment. Okay. Then on the side over here, where is it? We're going to go to submission details. Okay. And we see this. How do we do it? How do we do it, guys? I should watch that video, shouldn't I? Was it this? No. Oh, there was a way to do it. Oh, okay. So I guess that video I showed you, oh, view feedback, there it is. View feedback, I knew it was on here. This should be where you can write on your assignment. You guys, you all have PDF Candy through ClassLink, and PDF Candy can also help you. There we go. So you would click these 2 arrows to make it bigger. Excuse me. And then click this little paintbrush up here, And then so here, now I can write on it. Now I can say -9 plus 3 is -6. Come on, give me the paintbrush. Stop. -6. And so I would find -6 on my square, which is this top corner, and I would shade it in the way that it shows me, like that. So that's the way you can write on it. I would suggest using a stylus if you can. Or some of you you can do this on your phones too, and it works that way. Or you could probably use your mouse. I would assume you can use your mouse and do it. And then after you do that, then you would click those arrows again, and then you would resubmit after you're done. And then so now I would see your other file, and it would show me with all your stuff written on it. Okay. So that is the lunch bell. So we're gonna break. I will do another Zoom at 11, but it's not required. So if you want to come back and ask me questions or about the assignments, watching the other video, turning things in, any questions at all, I'll come back at 11, but you don't have to if you don't want to. All right. So you have 2 assignments. So you have to watch the other video on radicals, and you have 2 assignments due, and they are due. When did I give it to you? What's your due date? You have until, Friday. It is due on Friday by midnight. Okay, so 2 things due for me by midnight, and if you didn't do your other thing, get that in too. All right. So if you don't have any questions, you are dismissed. I see some questions in the chat. Let me see what's going on there. Thank you for the bless you. The coloring part is not mandatory. I don't know if Thomas is still in here. Coloring part is not mandatory, especially if you can't print it out, then you don't have to color. But if you can print it out, then you should try to color. I'll even show you. It looks, oh, where is it? I have it somewhere. Oh, it looks something like this when you're done. Okay. So, all right, guys. Have a good one. Hey, I'm in a Zoom call. What's up? Okay, give me 1 second. 1 second.